Monday. We woke up this morning to 8 degrees. It's so cold. So, a little bit of snow. Honestly, the snow's kind of nice. It's better than just like frozen hard mud, I guess. But I could do without the single digits first thing in the morning. I already hate mornings as it is. I don't know what it is, but I cannot get a good morning routine going no matter what I try to do. So just got a delivery of round bales because this cold weather is not going to quit. I'm looking at probably 7 or 8 degrees tomorrow morning again. So the less time I have to spend doing hay chores in the morning, the better. So I didn't have my evening lessons tonight because they're very small children and they freeze. So their mom and I decided it was best to let them stay home tonight. We're gonna do horsemanship and do some parts of the horse and stuff, but truthfully, I don't think they would have enjoyed that either. So I had my 4 o'clock lesson, who's a teenager, who's pretty diehard. She comes all the time no matter what. She was here and we were doing leg wraps and bandaging, talking about different types of jumping protection, and by the end of that hour our hands were frozen and our bodies were pretty cold even though we were in the barn. So definitely probably for the better that my littles didn't show up, which allows me to get stuff done a little bit earlier. I rescheduled my last lesson also, like we already planned that yesterday. We rescheduled those riders because I knew that it was just going to be so cold. And it's so like early, like nobody's prepared for it. Our horses aren't fully conditioned for the cold air, you know, so we don't want to disrupt what they have going on in their bodies and create more of a problem. I'm struggling with the cold air with this stupid cough that I have, so why would I put my horses through that also? So instead, I am putting out round bales in the pastures while the girls are in the barn doing chores. Vanessa's doing water. We've got Madison doing hay with her mom, and then Vanessa and I will get everybody grained when we're ready, and then she will go home and I will go home and we will get cozy and snuggle up under some blankets. At least I will. I don't know what Vanessa's gonna do, but she's probably got homework and stuff because, you know, teenager, high school stuff. But I am gonna cozy up in some blankets before I make some dinner. Nice and warm. So, clean up some round bales. I picked this one up super awkward, so let's fix that. In the dark is not my favorite time to do it, but I'd rather do it in the dark than first thing in the morning, especially because I don't think the tractor would be very happy with me if I tried to turn it on at 7 o'clock in the morning when it's 8 degrees out. Last year, it actually shut off on me when it was like negative something. I started driving it up from the barn and it just started making this god-awful squealing noise at me and it shut off. I was like, okay, guess we can't use that for a while. Thankfully, once the sun warmed it up and the temperature went up a little bit, I was able to use it again. So that was an interesting experience. First time I'd ever had that happen. But again, it was like negative 3 degrees outside, so I wasn't surprised at the same time. So, bring in the round bale out to the pasture. We only need to put 3 out in the horse pastures because we've got a couple horses that are by themselves or just like in pairs and on diets. Like one of the pairs is on a diet. So they get hay in nets and I just hang them up in the pasture and it keeps them busy all day long. The round bale go out to our bigger groups and then also out to the cows. So get this gate undone. process because our laneway is so narrow. Can't quite make the swing, so I have to do like 5,000 point turn to get into these gates without knocking down a post, and I'm still gonna catch it. There we go. There we go. Lower it down so I don't tip over. Of course, we're on a little bit of a hill here also. Dropping my camera. Ugh. My husband and I were talking about if I want to try to do this a little more, getting some better equipment. So I'm going to be looking into that after the holidays. Lord knows I don't have any money for it right now. All right, let's get this unwrapped. And this one, what I'm going to do is actually spread it into some different piles. It worked really well when I did that last time because these mares, there's 5 of them in here and they just fight constantly. And there's one mare in particular who like chases everybody away from the hay, no matter how much hay she's had. She really doesn't even need that much hay. But she's the boss mare, and so she chases everybody around and away. And so if I found if I kind of break it up into piles, then that helps keep everybody happy and not letting her dominate over the hay pile. Everybody gets a chance, and it actually lasted a lot longer the last time I did that, which was interesting. So we're gonna see if it lasts a lot longer again this time. The bale is unwrapped, so now I'm going to see if I can loosen up some of it. It's always an interesting process to get the first couple layers unraveled. Kind of just got to keep flipping it around, and then once it starts to loosen up, it's a little bit easier. There we go. There, that's a good pile there. I've tried like unrolling it in the past also, but it doesn't always unroll very well. So I found that just kind of picking it up and tossing it around a little bit is the easiest technique. Let me know if you have any other ideas. Sometimes they're real sticky and don't want to unlock at all or loosen up at all. And it kind of makes the tractor get a little bouncy. So that's an interesting experience. Whenever the round bale guys bring me bales, they're always amazed at my skills with the tractor and the bale spear. I grew up, I learned how to operate a tractor with one of the bale spears that like connects to the bucket. So I had to get real good with that because those are very sketchy. So this is nice. Having this John Deere one is so nice I'm sorry, it's a Frontier technically, but it goes to the John Deere. It's a quick attach. So much nicer, has a lot more stability to be able to kind of do silly things like this and not have to worry about my bale spear coming undone. Okay, so that's another good pile. Let's see if we can tip this over one more time. Perfect. I'm gonna come around to it from the back side. I always feel kind of bad because my neighbor's house is right there, but none of their lights are on, so I guess maybe they're not even home. But they have 2 small kids. I mean, obviously I'm well above the noise ordinance, but I still always feel a little bit bad when I have to come out in the dark and do stuff with the tractor. But they're pretty good neighbors. They take good care of us. We take good care of them. They had a tree fall down. They were out of town, so they texted me, and it was a really big tree, and they were like, it could be on your pasture. So I went out and I checked, because I hadn't known, because we had a farrier appointment that day, and with 14 horses getting done, we keep everybody in because that's just obviously a lot easier. So I hadn't been out to the pasture yet when they texted me about it, and I went out, and sure enough, the tree was down, and it was literally inches from our pasture. We got so lucky. And then they were chopping it up, and they said, do you need firewood? And I said, no, I don't need any firewood, but I would love some jump logs. So her husband texted me and said, what? Give me some dimensions. So I told him what I was looking for, and he was like, oh, we definitely got plenty of options over here. So, but then it started snowing and doing winter things, so we haven't gotten a chance to get over there and pick anything up yet. But you know, good neighbors are good. Good fences make good neighbors. So I always make sure my fences are nice and tight for them over there, so that I don't have to worry about any problems there. The only thing that doesn't work is my dogs don't help. They don't always make good neighbors, but I've got them under control for the most part. I should probably not say that too loud. They might hear me and then run away tomorrow, those little turds. Alright, so we got one more round bale to do for the horses. And I gotta go put one out for the cows. See where Vanessa's at with doing waters. For the weekend, we were trying to get our electricity straightened out in the pasture area, because I have tank heaters that I would like to be able to put out, but apparently none of my outlets are working. I have one working outlet, and it's nowhere near any of the tanks. Like, I could make maybe 2 tanks defrost using that specific outlet, but I can't run extension cords all the way up and down the laneway. So, plus that would, the extension cords don't make the tank heaters work very well. So, that wouldn't be very helpful. So I had somebody come out, one of my lesson guys, and replaced a bunch of the outlets, and we're still having an issue because we can't figure out why there's power going to the outlet, but the outlet's not working. So we're gonna have to call somebody who knows a little bit more about electricity, which is definitely not me. I watched them put outlets in so many times in the 7 years that we've been here. I've replaced so many stupid outlets, and those babies aren't cheap. Like, I just bought 4 of them, and it was $100. But I've replaced so many outlets, and no matter how many times I watch somebody do it, I can't do it. I'm scared I'm gonna look it up wrong. You know, I've watched videos, I've done everything, and it is just not my forte. So I know these things, and I know that I need to ask somebody else to do it. So I'm going to talk to another one of the lesson dads tomorrow when he's here, and see if he might be able to come out, because he knows a little bit more about electricity, and hopefully he knows a little more about troubleshooting electricity, so that we can get this going. Because right now, how I have to deal with the ice water tanks, is come out with a rubber hammer and a strainer, and I break up a big giant hole in them, and then I strain out the ice chunks, and the next day it's a little bit easier. Leaving a little bit of a layer around the outside does help to create a little bit of insulation, so like the whole water tank doesn't freeze in these temperatures overnight. And having the water tanks be black when there is sunshine does help also, because obviously black is going to warm up and, sorry, a little bouncy. Black absorbs the sunshine, so it warms up and it creates a little more warmth for the ice to not be created so much. Okay, so I am at the last round bale. and I'm going to go out and unnut that one, and this one I just have to stand up on end, and then I'm going to go grab the last one for the cows and go put that in their pen. They're probably going to run around like maniacs because they've been out of hay for 2 days, so yesterday they just got like square bales, and that never satisfies them. So they're going to be very happy, so I'm sure you'll get to see some yeehaw moments from them while I'm driving in. So let me get this one undone and we'll go do the cows next. Alright, last horse bale being dropped. Ta-da! Such a beautiful sight. They're going to be happy in the morning. Let's get turned around. Okay, off we go. Pick up the last round bale that we need to move tonight for the cows. Can't believe it's only the 8th of December and it's this cold and this snowy already. I'm trying really hard not to complain about it, but it's really hard. This is exhausting, and it kills your motivation, especially when you've got training horses in, and you would obviously love to be able to ride as much as possible, but it's this stinking cold. It's just not fun. Like, no matter how many layers you put on, and then you got to be careful because you put so many layers on, you can't even move anyway if you wanted to. So it's not a fun season up here in New York. I always think, what would be better? Being really cold in New York, or being somewhere where it's like always hot. I mean, I don't love being hot either, because there's somewhere that it's just like 70 all the time, and maybe just like a little bit of rain here and there, but not like a lot of rain, because a lot of rain can cause too many problems. But like, you know, that whole sunny and 75 concept, like that would be awesome, because I could get a lot done then. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tight, a little tricky. So we bought this new camper, and it's humongous. Big old girl, 45 foot long. She's a beauty though. I love that camper. We've only taken one trip with it, but that was the only trip I needed to take to know that I love it. Pulling it is quite an interesting experience also. It's the longest trailer I've ever pulled, but I'm getting there. I'm learning. Alright, so we have arrived at the cows. I don't know if you can see them through the window. There's Big Mama Hannah. Remember, she's the good one. She knows all the rules. Gotta get to the gate over there, so I'm gonna veer through here. It's a giant puddle, so we're breaking up all the ice here. This drainage in our outdoors sucks. Someone along the way ruined it. Not me, it was before I did it, but it's really expensive to try to fix, so we haven't been able to fix it yet. Someday, it is in the plans, I'm just not sure when. Alright, so we're gonna get a nice straight shot, because usually they know the rules and they stay in the pasture when I drop this gate, but knowing my luck, they wouldn't this time around. So let me see if I can. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I gotta get out and drop that gate. I'm running back. I'm gonna squeak in just enough, and I gotta get out and close the gate behind me because they're right there. I don't want them to get out over there, so I'm gonna go do that real quick, and we'll drop this in for them. Okay, so the cows have had their round bale. I didn't get a video of it because I set my phone on the dash of the tractor, and such is the story of my life, it fell in between the teeniest little crack that I didn't even know was there of the dash and got stuck behind the console. I'll show you, because this would happen to me. Thank God it didn't go all the way down into like the whole steering column and everything. And I'm used to screwing up like this and having to figure out how to get myself out of a situation without needing to ask for help, because I hate doing the walk of shame. It's the worst. So I'll show you where it got stuck. I can't even make this stuff up, guys. I just can't. Okay, so I had my phone sitting like right here, leaned up like this, right? And now I know there's like a little gap right there, right? Teeniest little gap. Well, that's where my phone went. So I just had to unscrew it, and my phone was stuck like right down in there. So now I have to put this all back together. Thankfully, I didn't have to pull it all the way apart, and put this back together, and then feed the horses, put this away, clean the barn up, and go inside. Just another day in the life over here. I can't make it up. I really can't. Also, the cows weren't very fun. They just were excited for the hay, but they didn't run around and do anything crazy. So maybe next time.